My guest tonight is a world-class skeptic who has wounded more sacred cows than a Bombay cab driver. His new book is titled No One Left to Lie To, The Triangulations of William Jefferson Clinton. Please welcome Vanity Fair contributing editor Christopher Hitchens. Christopher.
How do you feel?
How are you, sir? You're over in that one.
I've got my urine sample.
What do you got there? You got the scotch, you got the Altoids, and the ciggy.
I have a position in society to keep up, and I brought the urine sample to prove it.
Now, when I watch you on, well, I've seen you on Matthews and a few others. I always think you're like the smartest guy I've ever seen on TV, and I think to some extent.
Sweet of you to say so.
Well, I also
love your work also.
I think that
I've always liked your Charles Manson giggle, I must say. That's what brought me to this studio.
Well, you know, I've made a career off that Manson giggle, but you make a career off of lacerating things that some people won't even go near. And I'm wondering, do you feel safer doing it because while you live in America, I don't know if you've been naturalized, but you're a Brit, obviously. And
how can you tell?
Well, I mean, do you feel safer, like, because I think if some American guys cranked up some of the sentiments you have, they would be, you know, the villagers would be after him with torches.
Is this Mother Teresa we're on about here? Or
Well,
the Dalai
yeah,
Lama?
I mean, the Mother Teresa thing just amazed me. And I, when you read it, it's so well put together, and yet I can't follow you on the sentiment. I mean, well, explain to the people your general feelings about Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa is a bat from hell. Was a bat from hell. I correct myself, was a bat. Mother Teresa believed that contraception was the moral equivalent of abortion, and abortion was the moral equivalent of murder. Mother Teresa took heaps of money from the Duvalier family in Haiti, who probably gave the poor as hard a time as the poor have ever got, even the poorest of the poor. Heaps of money from them and justified their regime. She took a heap of money from Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan of California, who you're still paying for. Bad debts, and a private jet in return for saying that he was a great guy and a friend of Jesus
Listen, with all the
Christ.
assholes getting on Learjets in this world, doesn't she deserve one? I mean, for Christ's sake, I see people getting off Learjets left and right who don't deserve it. I mean, this woman was living with...
I mean, we're talking about taking a flying fuck, right? I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think she is... the other people you see getting on and off these jets advertise the fact that they're scumbags and grinders of the faces of the poor. She does it by saying, I'm doing this to do the poor a favor. And then she says, poverty is a gift from God. Suffering is a gift from God. Leprosy is a gift from God. The death of your child is because God loves the child and expects people to sit still for it. Well, not this reviewer. The worst, the bad moment, I wanted to call, you mentioned this animal earlier, I wanted to call my book about her sacred cow. But I decided to call it the missionary position instead because I thought sacred cow might be offensive to some people. But
there was a pretty good stab in the dark there, Chris.
I hate to, but the documentary was called, Over My Wishes, was called Hell's Angel, which I thought was a bad title. The Hell's Angels came to the screening with a lawyer's letter and said I had violated their copyright. They formed up in a mob and said, You've violated our trademark, so now it's really true. Everyone in this country has a fucking lawyer.
The Hells Angels have a lawyer.
So now I'm on to the Dalai Lama, which is much easier. That's fishing a barrel.
Oh, wait, I can't let you go on Mother Teresa for a second. Even if you question, I mean, the woman, would you ever consider doing that with your life? Who would? That's why she's sainted. Before she's already sainted, who was out there and living with the dregs, the people nobody else wanted?
I've been in Bosnia. And shall we be serious for a second?
Yes, I want to be serious because
Okay, I've been in Bosnia. I've been in Albania recently. I've been in Zimbabwe and many other hellish spots, and I've met probably many people here have met hundreds of people who spend their entire lives really working for the good of others, and just for that. They don't proselytize. They don't say we're doing this for the church or for our ideology, or to prove that poverty is a gift from God and you should accept it, or to campaign against divorce and abortion and contraception, as she openly did. She said that was her motive. She told me so herself in Calcutta. She said, I do this to disprove the secular idea that people can have divorce and immoral lives. We do it for this purpose. That qualifies it a little, don't you think?
Well, I'm just wondering if you can get this wound up about that.
And as a matter of fact, as you point out, she was more often seen clambering on a Learjet to go and see Mr. Duvalier in Haiti and grovel to him, or Mr. Keating to go grovel to him, and being told all this time she's on the fast track for sainthood, and then going to photo op with Nancy Reagan. No, I don't think so. She wasn't in Calcutta.
Wait, how did Nancy Reagan get into there? Where'd that come
one of her
from?
photo ops.
What's wrong with that?
With Nancy Reagan? Well, I think they were absolute twin souls. But no one says Nancy Reagan does it for the love of humanity. Nancy Reagan does it for the photo op. It was very hard to catch Mother Teresa in Calcutta. If you blinked, you missed her.
Man, you are the Rosetta
No,
Stone of skepticism, my friend.
The point is, well, what would you say is the most overrated virtue?
Honesty?
I'd say faith. I know where you're coming. I hear that. I can work with that, but I think faith, don't you? Faith. Why just take anything on faith? Why say, I'd like this person to do my thinking for me? Why ever do that? Why not say, the one thing that makes me human is I can do my own?
Well, I guess we can agree to disagree on her, because to me she walked
We don't need a guru, we don't need a princess, we don't need a president who promises leadership, blah, blah, all this nonsense. We have our own faculties.
All right, so we disagree on Mother Teresa, but Clinton, I think we're in complete concurrent on. You can wade into him, because it doesn't get more full of shit than that, in my book. I mean,
Well,
I read your last Vanity Fair article.
You were unfair. You said that he's a liar. I mean, everyone lies about rape. Right? A gentleman is expected to lie about rape. Give the guy a break. We all lie about rape. We all lie about bombing Sudan when Monica Lewinsky and killing innocent people in Africa. On the day Monica Lewinsky comes to the grand jury, we all say we had to bomb that place anyway. We all do that, don't we? See how he's dragged everyone's level down. Everyone now thinks he's the average guy. A fucking rapist, a war criminal, and a pathological liar. And, yeah, people then say, you can't fool me, I'm a wised-up American. I'll sit in my kitchen. If anyone rings and says, do I have an approval rating, I'll give them one. To show how smart I am. To show how skeptical I am. To show how you can't fool me. Doesn't it make you want to bring up everything you have ever even thought about eating?
I just want you to call me in 6 weeks and tell me what it feels like to be gang audited. Because,
my life is an open book.
Oh, man, we've got a phone call for you. It's line 7. It's Bill from Little Rock. No, it's easy. There we go.
No, he always calls collect. I know if it was him.
We've got line 7. We've got Chella from Montgomery, Alabama. Chella.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Okay, I'm good.
Now, what do you think of Chris's skepticism? I consider myself a skeptic. I consider Chris the Mark McGuire of skeptics. They're auctioning off that last round at Sotheby's.
No, I think Chris is on the spot. In fact, here's my question.
Okay.
To what extent is skepticism a natural result of extensive knowledge, of just knowing this shit about people?
Oh, well.
You know,
That's the hippest call out of Montgomery ever. We usually get calls out of Montgomery on a party line.
No, in Montgomery, they make more skepticism than they can consume locally, I think you'll find.
But Clinton has brought the whole thing down, right?
People say, I wish there was more skepticism. There isn't. There's quite a lot of cynicism. People say, oh, well, what can you do? Or they're all the same, or this kind of thing. Or they all do it, so that a guy like Clinton, who is by any standards really exceptional as a liar and as a crook and as a bully, walks because people think, well, we all do that. I don't know anyone who's done half the things he did. You know, you're supposed to lie, they say, to protect the woman. You know, everyone lies about adultery. He doesn't lie to protect the woman or his family. He lies to trash the women, to libel them and slander them when he's done with them, and to leave his family out to dry. This is not what everybody does. Do you know anyone who does that? We don't know people who do this.
I agree with you. He's a very mean-spirited guy.
He's a very mean guy indeed, mean as a snake. And so people who think, I do think your show is rough on him in the wrong way, because you make it sound as if he's a guy who loves women too much and can't help himself. If that was true, fine, but you're building him up by saying that. He's a scumbag. He's mean to these women. He treats them cruel, and then he lies and trashes them. This is unpleasant to watch.
Yeah, but I'm doing I'm doing a comedy show, Chris. I can't come out here every week.
It would be a sad world if we couldn't have a laugh. I mean,
Listen, you're in this seat. I'm over in 6 weeks. You know, I mean, I can't turn it into Scared Straight, where I get in kids' faces. You don't ever want to come in here. I'll fuck you in the ass for a pack of Luckies.
Well, that's what I said. I saw you had to go at James Carville the other day.
Carville,
I said about Carville that he hasn't spoken to me since I said he looked like the product of the love scene in Deliverance. You've got to have a laugh. I agree with you about that. But still, you mustn't boost the guy. This is a guy, the president, who has apparently no confidence he can get laid on his own merits. He humps the help and then he jumps on them. This is not sweet. This is not sweet.
I got to do the news. Kick back with your scotch, have a ciggy. I'll be right back, Mr. Hitchens.